Yes, hello and welcome to our little session today. It's called Less is More. Simplify your home, simplify your life. As I just said, it's just gone 10 o'clock here in Melbourne. We'd love to hear from you. Where are you joining us from? Pop it in the chat where you're joining us from and what are you looking to learn today? Looking forward to hearing that. So we make sure that we cover everything that we want to today. So just interested to know as well what accumulates in your home that we could focus on today. Is it paperwork? Is everything just too overwhelming? Why are you interested in living with less? Share it below. We have just pressed record on this session as well. So we will be sharing on YouTube for the people that couldn't make it live today. So if you are watching on YouTube, hello to you. And you can comment using the comment section and we can get back to you. Not quite as instant as the people that are joining us live today, but we certainly can get back to you if you've got any questions or would like to share anything. So my business, Space and Time, which started in 2015, we're going to be celebrating our 10th birthday next year, which is exciting. Space and Time is all about making conscious choices with how we use our space and our time. And we also love to talk about systems to create a simpler life. And we'll really be talking about that today and thinking about keeping the stuff that is really going to help you on that journey. What is a simple life for you? What is less for you? And letting go of all of the rest. So we'll talk about some ideas about that as well. And if you're thinking about changing anything in any way, having a clear intention on why you're doing it and what you would like to achieve really helps you bring about those changes. It helps you sort of set a roadmap and set a direction for you. So jot down on a piece of paper what you're looking to learn today. And we've got other things coming up that we would like to talk to you about today. This is our last session for the year, which is exciting. But we do have another session booked in for the start of the year, which might be a great kickstart, which is our focus board session. If you've got too much going on, join us for that one. We'll share the details at the end of the session. So here I am. I'm Julie Cliff. I'm an executive assistant and administrator by trade. Always working in the office, love to help people get and stay organised. And then I found a group of professional organisers here in Melbourne, and we just met for our Christmas celebrations on the weekend, actually. Tuesday it was. And so I've been meeting that group for a very long time and very glad to have that group as a part of my life. Has changed everything for me. And I really did learn that this is a thing. People do go into other people's homes and they do help them declutter and get organized. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. And I do have a team here in Melbourne and a person in Geelong, which is sort of regional Victoria. And we help people declutter and get organized at home. So today we're going to be thinking about the theme of simplicity leads to happiness and more time for what matters. So it's really about identifying those important things and making time for them. And we really want a lighter, less stressful new year. So it's a great time to be thinking of it right now here in the first week of December, thinking what's 2025 going to look like? So this is what we're going to cover today. We're going to have a look at why less is more. We're going to have a look at the emotional and practical benefits of living with less, key areas to declutter, the ways stuff finds its way into the home. We're going to have a look at practical steps to stop the stuff, declutter specific areas of impact, the benefits of letting go and imagining a clutter-free future. And also some next steps. So as I said, this is really all about the idea of we're really looking at sort of physical stuff today, but it can be having less stuff on your calendar as well. We've got some good YouTube videos if you want to look them up on managing your time, like time management for busy people. And that's all about letting go of the stuff that we really don't need to do, putting those important tasks on, starting with self-care, time for your family, friends, and then, okay, let's make some time for you to make some money and go to work and those sorts of things. But as I said, today is all about living with less, but mainly looking at less stuff in the home. So why less is more? The whole idea today is you don't need it, get rid of it. And, you know, be a bit ruthless about it, and knowing that if you do need it again, the universe will bring it back to you. You know, you can just say, oh, gee, I wish I didn't throw away that toaster. I need, you know, wish I kept it. You know, keep your little feelers out. Someone will be saying they don't need it. They haven't got a toaster. Sorry, they don't need their toaster anymore, or, you know, those sorts of things. It's really amazing when you speak to the universe, when you do let things go and you decide that you need it again. But every chance is that you won't need it again. So just let it go. We want to eliminate the unnecessary items and free yourself from all the stuff. We'll talk about some of the sort of mental load and the actual, just the weight that clutter makes us feel like. So let's have less stuff. We don't need all the fancy gadgets. You know, a knife does very well for cutting things rather than a fancy food processor, depending on what you're making, of course. But let's eliminate the unnecessary items in our life. And why less is more in relation to our mindset, I really want you to have a think about focusing on what we want to keep rather than what you can let go. So let's pretend we're not going to keep anything in our whole house. It's all going to go. I was listening to a TED talk the other day. I haven't quite got through the whole lot, but this lady and her family moved from Canada to Tasmania, and they all just took one suitcase each. And I thought, wow, that's really going minimalist. That is really living with less. It would be very interesting to see. I haven't got to the part to where she said what she did put in that suitcase. I have stuff in our house, but I think we're fairly minimalist, but we're not, you know, white spaces and nothing. So have the idea of it's all going to go and we're just going to keep the very good stuff, rather than what are we going to let go of. See if you can sort of flip it around. And surround yourself with items that support your goals, passions, and well-being. So if you used to love skiing when you were a kid and you've got all your ski gear from when you were 6 years old, you know, it's probably not really supporting your goals and your passions and your well-being now. You probably can't fit into those ski pants anymore. Maybe hang on to one or two of those little items just as some memorabilia, or take a photo of it, make a, you know, a scrapbook about it, journal about those items. But we want to, as I said, just let stuff go that's not supporting how we're living our life right now. The past is past. The future, we don't know what's going to happen. So let's set you up to have just surrounding you what's going to support you, your goals, your passions, and your well-being. So some more reasons of why less is more, because clutter causes overwhelm, stress, and frustration. You know, I often get new clients calling me. I just had a conversation with a lady today, actually, before I jumped on here, and she's going, I've just had enough. You know, sick of the kids not picking up after themselves, sick of the husband doing this and that. I just need some help. So clutter really does weigh on our shoulders, and it weighs on our mind as well. So that's why I want in this circumstance, less is more. And the idea and the actual doing of decluttering creates space and opportunities for calm. So there's less to worry about, less to look at, less to be worrying and cleaning and picking up after people when there is less. I'm just having a look in back at the chat. Thanks, Cheryl. Cheryl has shared, yes, the shift in mindset, focusing on what to keep rather than stressing about what to let go is very helpful. Good on you, Cheryl. Yeah, a big mindset change. Pretend everything's going. We're just going to keep the best. Thanks for sharing that. Anyone else got any thoughts along the way? Please use the chat for that. So continuing on the idea of why less is more, simplifying life boosts productivity and joy. The same reasons that we just said before. There's not so many things vying for our thoughts and our mind and our brain space. So a simple life with less stuff can really help us be focused and bring us joy, because we're just surrounding ourselves with the stuff that we want in our lives, rather than being burdened by things that we don't really want. Somebody gave us, or it was an heirloom, or someone said we should keep this thing. We really want to be focusing on the things for ourselves. We're going to move on now to the emotional benefits of living with less. As we've just been talking about, reducing stress and overwhelm is a big thing that my clients want to do. A decluttered space leads to a calmer mind. So you've got somewhere to just sit and think and do stuff. I've got so many clients of mine that have a craft room or a sewing room or a painting room, like a studio, but there's just so much stuff around. They can't actually get into the space to do what they want to do. So that is not creating a calmer mind. That's just, it's like, it's just all too much. Continuing with the emotional benefits of living with less, boost your confidence and pride. So when things are looking good in my home, as far as, things are pretty good, they're in their right places. Again, my home is not a show home. It's neat and tidy, but it's not going to be in a magazine anytime soon. But it does make me feel good. It feels like a sense of accomplishment and well-being. I feel like I'm doing well, because that is something that is important to me. I do appreciate that some people have got so much going on in their lives, multiple kids, one or two of them may have a disability of some sort. You might be trying to work or run a business. I understand that sometimes the home is not the priority. I absolutely appreciate that. But sometimes just some little pockets of getting on top of your tasks can really boost your confidence and pride. It's an interesting one there. Certainly not saying that you should be judged on how your home looks. We've just written a blog this week about clutter shaming. Mary Lou, you're there. You might find that blog and share it in the chat with everybody, saying that everybody's home is their own and they are completely allowed to have their home how they wish it to be. That's completely up to them. So have a bit of a read of that as well. So continuing on with practical benefits of living with less, you absolutely save time and energy. The amount of times that my clients say to me that they've spent half the day looking for their car keys or their phone or their wallet, I would love $1 for every time somebody said that that's what they've been doing. Or I've actually physically helped them while I've been in the house. I can't find the passport. I can't find my birth certificate, these sorts of things. Having less stuff means where things are. There's often less cleaning, because there's less to pick up and dust, and there's less maintenance. So it absolutely, living with less saves you time and energy. Continuing on with the practical benefits of living with less, improved organization. So you can find what you need when you need it with ease. Again, when I'm working with clients, it's like, I know I've got a pair of pinking shears, the jagged scissors that crimp along the way. I know I've got a set of those somewhere. But, it's absolutely useless if you can't find them, because they're buried under a heap of stuff. So having less things around so you can find the things that you need is so helpful and so important. And it can, again, we just said about saving time, which is a great thing, and energy. And also we are more organized if we have less and we know where things are, rather than, oh yeah, it's somewhere in the house. You know, again, it's useless if you can't put your hands on it in quite quickly. Let me just check the chat. Thanks, Mary Lou. She has shared the clutter shaming, why it's time to rethink the conversation, all about, you know, it's completely up to the person that is running the household to decide how their house will look and feel. All right, so having less also saves you money. So you avoid duplicate purchases and impulse buys by knowing what you own. So again, like I said before, I know I've got a pair of those scissors somewhere, but I need them right now. So I'm going to have to go up the street to buy. I'm going to have to go and buy another pair. So, you know, by knowing where things are, you can absolutely save money from buying duplicates. Or otherwise, when I'm working with clients, what was I going to say about that? We're decluttering and working through the things, and they go, oh yeah, there's that thing. Oh, and there's another one, and oh, okay, I've got 3 of them now. You know, they didn't realize that they had 3. Absolutely saves you money if you know where your stuff is. All right, well, let's have a look at some key areas to declutter to help us live with less. So we can start with the high impact spaces like entryways and kitchens, and sort of dining, living rooms, sort of the ones that we spend the most time in. They're some good places to start. And just put the timer on for 5 minutes. Try for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Don't try and do it all day, every day. Just try in short bursts and get get some momentum going. If you get through the 15 minutes and you're keen to keep going, absolutely do. But always leave time for packing up, because we know that when we're decluttering, it makes more mess. So that we do need to make some time at the end to tidy up. So start with those areas: kitchen, living room, those sorts of things. And also address doom boxes. We ran a session on doom boxes the other day online here. And they are those boxes you just stuff together when you've got friends coming over, and they get put in the corner and never addressed. So maybe you might want to have a look at not creating those doom boxes by having less and having places for things to go, rather than just being all over the place and having to be stuffed into a box. So Mary Lou, I know putting you on the spot again, would you mind having a look for the doom boxes YouTube link as well and share with everyone? People might like to have a look at that. And also it says, along with the doom boxes, have a look at clutter prone zones. And of course, use the stop the stuff approach from the space and time organizing system. Some of you have been to our workshops before, and I often talk about the 6 steps of the space and time organizing system. And the first one is stop more stuff from coming in. If you're trying to get yourself sorted out, stop more from coming in. We're going to talk about that a little bit more in a second as well. And here it is. This second is right now. So let's stop the stuff. Let's see how we can put the brakes on clutter. So I want you to start to set some boundaries to stop more clutter coming in and stop it at its source. And a good way to do that as well is to adopt a 1 in, 1 out rule, with the intention about, and being intentional about what you bring into the home. So we can go, all right, I've just bought a new pair of shoes. So a pair has to go out. Or if you're feeling really brave, 1 pair of shoes in, 2 pairs of shoes out. And be ruthless. Again, going back to that idea of we are setting ourselves up for now, our life in the now, not the past, not what you used to do. We're talking about the activities and the projects and the important tasks that you are working on now. So Maybe high-heeled shoes are no good for you anymore. Let them go, pass them on to somebody else. So that one in, one out rule can be a beauty. So here, continuing on with the stopping the stuff as well, let's try and identify the ways that stuff find itself coming into your home. Can often be your purchases, of course. Be mindful coming up to Christmas. How are you going to approach gift giving? Maybe you might like to rethink that and rethink what you're buying for yourself and what you're giving to other people. And also, another way that stuff finds its way into the house is people giving you things, of course, and that includes hand-me-downs. So they might go, oh, my kids aren't using this anymore. Here, have it. You are perfectly allowed to say, no, thank you. You don't need to give any excuses or explain yourself. If you know your kids don't need any more plastic stuff, or your grandkids, or your people around you, say no thanks, and let them take it and dispose of it rather than just dumping it on you. Some other ways that more stuff finds its way in is thrift stores, op shops, online marketplaces, and flea markets. You go along to these places. Some of them things are so cheap you can't possibly leave it there, or you're scrolling along online and you go, oh yeah, look at that, that's a great bargain, and you haven't even tried the item on, so it's probably no good. So really be mindful when you are out and about purchasing, because these are more and more ways of things finding their way into your home. And roadside rescues are also a big one as well, as far as, oh yes, we'll see somebody else's, hard waste when it's out being collected by the council. Don't be tempted unless you absolutely know where you're going to put that item and it's just right. Don't pick it up. Let's stop more stuff from coming into the house. Let's have a look at the chat before I go on to more ways to stop the stuff. Thank you, Mary Lou, for sharing Tackling Doom Boxes, how to break the habit of stashing and dashing. And also Cheryl says, concerning Christmas gifts, my daughter and I prefer experiences rather than material stuff. Memories over stuff. It has been great. Beautiful, Cheryl. I love it. Would love for more people to get on board with that idea and just spend some time together and enjoy each other's company over the, this special time, rather than just giving more stuff. We stopped giving gifts a long time ago, maybe nearly 10 years ago now. We do buy our kids stuff. It's often undies and socks and those boring things. And they often tell us exactly what they want, so we get it right. And but we gave up the extended family a long time ago just to make it easier, less stuff coming in. So some additional ways to stop more stuff from coming in is avoid impulse buying. So, take a list with you and stick to it in your shopping, or stop your scrolling online and embrace minimalism. Don't think that you're missing out by not having the latest gadget. Be joyful that you're missing out. You're having less stuff and you can celebrate having less. And prioritize quality over quantity. So buying a couple of nice pairs of shoes rather than having multiple pairs that aren't very good. And also practice regular decluttering to maintain order. So it's not just something to do in the spring. It's a daily thing. It's a weekly thing. It's a monthly thing. Always letting things go that we are no longer using. So this is continuing on, stopping more things from coming in. And because we talked at the start about changing our mindset, about letting stuff go and having less in our home. So this really about stopping the stuff is about going forwards. How are we going to continue to maintain having less stuff? Because sometimes it just happens to, creep back in again. So if you're out and about, set yourself a budget and then avoid the impulse purchases. We just mentioned that before. We can digitize travel memorabilia and just keep small, meaningful items rather than, buying a big sombrero or something while you're in Mexico. Try and keep your trinkets very small or take a photo of it. Again, this is all having less. And just as Cheryl said before, prioritizing those experiences and that joy of being with each other and traveling and being out and about rather than the bits that you bring home with you. And take notes if you're going out like an expo or something like that, you might need to renovate your house. So you go to one of those home improvement expos, take notes and just collect website details and those sorts of things rather than a handful of flyers or brochures. Just keep it very minimalist so that you're not home with a big show bag full of stuff. Again, this is all ways to have less stuff going forwards and making sure it's not going to creep back in. All right, let's have a look at specific areas of impact. And we're actually going to move on to more decluttering. So how can we get rid of more? We've been talking quite a lot about not bringing more in. Let's have a look at how can we shoo more stuff out the front door. So let's have a look at clothes. We can focus on what fits, what brings us joy, and avoid excess shopping. So, have a bit of a fashion parade at home. Either invite a girlfriend over or a friend or somebody that you trust their opinion, and try a few items on that you're not quite sure about. But you will know when you go to reach a pair of pants or something like that. You just don't want to be bothered even putting it on because you remember from the last time it was a bit itchy or you didn't like wearing it for whatever reason. So when you're going through your clothes, focus on the fit and the joy that it brings you when you are wearing it. All right, paperwork. Decluttering paperwork, go digital. You can do so much online and find so many resources online these days that we have very little need for paperwork. Again, there are reasons that some people do like paperwork. They like to sit and be able to write and those sorts of things. Yep, I appreciate that. But we're talking about unnecessary paperwork. There might be old magazines. There might be old utility bills. You probably don't need your bank statement from 1974. So have a bit of a think about what you can just clear very easily. Shred it or bring in a bin. You can pay for like a document shredding bin, fairly reasonable price to have it for a week, and you just put it in and it's secure document destruction. So get rid of the paper. And also hear about going digital, use AI. I love ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to do things for me all the time rather than, oh, where's that list that I wrote last week about good steps to blah, blah, blah. I'll just go back to ChatGPT, tell it again what I want, and in 25 seconds, less than that, you've got the whole document again. So have a little bit of a go at that. So decluttering our paperwork. All right, we're continuing on with decluttering specific areas of the home. Excuse me for just checking a time. We are doing good for time. Pantry. I often do pantries in people's homes and they often have way too much food. Sometimes it's very old and expired, so that's relatively easy to let go of, but sometimes I just have too much. So have a think about the types of foods that you do eat and eat often. Do some meal planning, avoid overstocking and food waste. I have an empty jar on my our kitchen bench at the moment. It's called Promite. It's like Vegemite or Marmite, those spreads that we here in Australia put on a piece of toast with butter. Promite, and the last couple of times I've used it and opened a new jar, I'll write the date on the time that I've used it. And it's pretty well, I'm the only one that eats it in the family, and it takes me 6 months to eat through a jar of Promite. So I know I don't need to have 6 jars of Promite in my pantry. That's overstocking, because it takes me 6 months to get through it. So by the time I would, open the next one, it might be out of date. So I probably only ever have one spare. But milk in our household, in the fridge, that's a different thing. We probably go through a couple of liters a day. So that's something that we do need to buy regularly. But there would be things in your pantry that you don't need lots of. So by meal planning and thinking about what you're eating, we can really avoid overstocking and food waste. So that's a great way to live with less. Try and eat more whole foods, try and eat more fruits and vegetables, things that are in season, and really living with less and less, overstock. I want to talk a little bit more about letting go, and we've been talking about practical ways of doing that. And the rewards of letting go. And some people get so stressed about it. Oh, as I said before, oh, but I might need it again. Oh, but as soon as I let go of this thing last time, I wanted it again a few minutes later. But some of the great rewards of letting go are that you can reclaim your time and your energy for what matters most. So rather than decluttering and organizing being a full-time job, which I do have some clients that seems to be what they spend all their time on, there's other things to do. There's money to make, there's work to do, there's friends to go and visit, there's elderly parents to look after, there's things to do at the school, to participate with what your kids are doing. So reclaim your time and energy for those fun things you want to do, your Pilates, your art classes, your dancing, your swimming, what matters most to you. And also letting go helps you feel lighter, less stressed, and more in control. And that really is what my clients tell me when they have less. They feel lighter, less stressed, and more in control. And when they have more, the opposite is true. They feel heavy, they feel really stressed, and they feel like they're completely out of control. And more rewards of letting go is to be able to create a space for new opportunities and growth. Like I was saying before, if there's just too much stuff around, you can't even get in and do your craft. You can't enjoy the spaces because you're always thinking, oh, I should have done that. I should have picked this up. I should have done that a long time ago. All these shoulds that are going around in your mind. Let me just check the chat again. Thank you, Cheryl. Cheryl says eating vegetables according to the season helps with food waste and budget, especially if you're growing your own. Absolutely, it does. Seasonal eating is a super way to go, and absolutely has less waste. Thanks, Cheryl. And this is something we could have done at the start of the session, but I think we're probably in a good frame of mind now to be able to imagine a clutter-free future. So when I visualize your home filled with purpose and mindfulness, as I said before, space and time is all about making conscious choices with how we use our space and our time. We don't just do stuff because someone said we should, or that's how grandma taught you. It's all about what's working for you and your family now. A clutter-free future would be freedom from physical and emotional clutter. Again, I have lots of clients that tell me that they've got these tiny little garments that they used to wear when they were 16, size 6 or 8 or something, and it's hanging in the back of their wardrobe, and it makes them feel really sad every time they look at it. That's emotional clutter. I don't think you need to do that to yourself. You can probably say, thanks to the universe for our amazing bodies. Yes, I was a tiny little person when I was young, but I'm not so tiny anymore because that's just what happens in life. We all grow, we all change, but we can let go of that emotional clutter so that it's not holding us back and, making us feel bad about ourselves. Also, with a clutter-free future, we can commit to ongoing intentional living and simplicity. So it's all about looking forwards, living intentionally, again, those conscious choices with our space and our time. So what we can do in our next steps is to implement what we've learnt today. We can stop more stuff from coming in. We can work very hard to declutter and let things go that we no longer need. It may have served us at some stage, but it's no good to us now. And we can really create a clutter-free and intentional life. That's something that I would really love you to do. And really appreciate the joys of missing out. You know, let go of that fear of missing out, the FOMO, let go of that, and know that, oh yes, I'm feeling so good and so smug because I don't have to worry about all that stuff that I used to worry about because it's gone. I've let it go, and just be really joyful and embrace the life that you're living right now. So continue on with us. Don't forget to follow us on our socials. Have a look at our website. We're on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and our website. You know, we have lots of these workshops each fortnight, actually. We've got tips and blogs on the website and recorded workshops on YouTube. So check out all those socials. And as I said, this session today is the last for this year, for 2024. And the first one for the new year, the 13th of February, Thursday, same time, 10 o'clock, is going to be our Focus Board online workshop. So this is going to be looking at your time management and thinking about how do you want your time to feel in 2025. What are those important projects, those important things? We were talking about them during the session today. What do we need to spend more time on? What do we need to focus on more? And we're going to get the scissors out. We're going to get the paper out. We're going to get the, I've got some little discs here that I've made in the past. You know, we're going to make these little colored discs. So it's like a vision board, but it's just quicker and easier. We'll do it, have a good crack at it in an hour to just make some fun. Stop, think, use some scissors. I don't know how long since you've been doing some cutting and pasting, but stop and really be focused on what you want to work on in 2025. We normally come up with about 12 projects to work on. I think it's probably too many, but at least it's not 112. I know a lot of my clients are trying to do so much. So let's have a go at being focused on just a few. And here's all our contact information here. So if you want to have a chat, reach out on email or book a time to have a chat about your decluttering journey. Let me just have a look at the chat. I'm going to stop my share as well. Stop share. The chat says, you are welcome, Marissa. She says, thank you for a great session. And Mary Lou, thanks for sharing all our socials. So copy if you want details from the chat for our website, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Cheryl, you are welcome. Thank you for advice and encouragement in this area. Great, appreciated. You're welcome. Thanks for coming. And there's the link to register for the Focus Board workshop there. And also there's our details if you want to reach out to us and ask for any assistance or make a time to chat. If you want to specifically make a something, a plan to simplify your life so you can live with less. So info@spaceandtime.com.au. Feel free to save the chat. I'm just going to do that now. At the top of the chat, there's 3 little dots. You click on there and you go save chat. So I'm going to do that myself so that I've got all those details so I can share them. We will send out this recording later today with a summary of the session. Look forward to seeing you next year. Wishing you all a fabulous festive season. Thanks. A number of you have been with us for a number of sessions. So thanks very much for that, and look forward to seeing you next year. Doreen says, very interesting. How do you keep on going when you're stuck with decluttering? Doreen, I think little chunks is really handy. So put that timer on, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. If you get a little bit stuck, take a little breather, have a think about what it is that you're stuck. Are you just a bit worried that maybe you shouldn't let that thing go? But just go with your gut. Maybe a little break might be good. Come back again. But if you are stuck on something, just put it aside and come back to it. And just those little chunks would help you with your momentum. As I said, check out our YouTube channel. There's heaps of them there. We've been doing them for a very long time. And what you could do, Doreen, is put one of our sessions on in the background and just have me chatting away and giving you some tips as you're going to help you continuing on your journey. But if you need any more assistance than that, I think reach out and let's have a chat as well. Thanks, Cheryl, for the Christmas greetings. Looking forward to seeing everyone next year. Thanks so much for joining us today, and take care. Bye for now.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Have a great Christmas.
Ta.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
See ya.